What's up everybody, Mike Alexander here, and I want to welcome you all to my first unboxing review. We're going to be doing that today with the Zhiyun Smooth 4. With the advancements in today's technology, you're now able to get professional level photography and videography straight out of your mobile device. So for anyone looking to go that mobile photography or videography route, a gimbal is the best option for you to get that smooth, cinematic, buttery footage, and one of the best gimbals on the market in my opinion. Great value for money. The Zhiyun Smooth 4. I want to try to get that right because the word means something.
Yeah.
Like the word actually means something. It's Japanese. So we got to get that right. I'm pretty sure it's Zhiyun. The Zhiyun Smooth 4. Let's get right into it. Quick start guide for whoever reads those. There you go. So like I said, it comes in this nice carrying case. It actually is nice. It's like a kind of like a foam thing, and this is the crane. Kind of lightweight. I like that it's lightweight. It's built really solid. Got the focus wheel here. Different display for the settings, menu button. Comes with this little mini tripod here. Little charging cable, USB charging cable here. That's cool. Yeah. So today we're gonna be setting up the gimbal onto my iPhone XR, and I'm gonna be using the Moment 18mm ultra wide angle lens. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna just screw the tripod on like this. But we're gonna try to get it as balanced as possible. Right? It's gonna come locked like this, but you can unlock it just by moving that. Now, one thing that's really important to keep in mind is that if you attach a lens, any lens, I'm using a Moment lens today, but any lens you attach, if you attach a lens, if you attach an ND filter or any other thing like that, the gimbal is going to have a hard time balancing. So you're going to want to invest in some kind of counterweight or something to put onto the side of the gimbal so that it can kind of balance itself out, because it's going to max out, and then when you turn the gimbal on, it's not going to balance properly. So in the back here you have this lock. If you screw it, it'll let you slide out the side arm of the gimbal, and that'll help you balance the gimbal out. You want to get it to where the phone is kind of just sitting like that without you touching it. Okay, so once you have the gimbal balanced, you should be able to turn it on. And there you go. It works perfect. Right here you have the pan focus, and then you have the lock button, the lock switch right there. If you put the lock switch on, the camera will stay forward no matter where you go. If I turn to the right or I turn to the left, the camera is not going to move. It's going to stay pointing forward, and that's really good for when you're doing running shots and stuff like that. If you put the pan focus on, when I turn to the right or I turn to the left, it's going to follow. But if I want to shoot up or shoot down, as you can see, it's staying locked forward. So that's where this back button comes in, right back here. So holding this back switch will allow you to pan the camera up and down, and it'll follow your movements, but you have to hold that back button. If you don't hold the back button, it's not going to move when you're panning it up or down. Another thing you can do is you can hold this back button, pan it up, and then release the back button, and it'll stay panned up even when you're going up or down. If you want to get it back to its start position, you just double click and it'll just point right back to its start position. You have other features here like this little follow focus wheel, display settings, menu settings. You can hit the record button there and record straight from the gimbal. You can take photos. You can turn the flash on. The only thing about these settings, maybe the only complaint that I actually have with the gimbal is that, and it may not be the gimbal's fault, so it may not be the company's fault, but the only complaint I have is you have to be using the Zhiyun app. If you're not using their app, you won't be able to Bluetooth connect to your phone and access these functions. You'll still have to do all of the functions from the actual phone. So someone like me, as you can see, I use Moment lenses. I like using the Moment app. I like having the control over the shutter speed and all of that. And I just think that the app is really intuitive and easy to use, but I can't use these functions on the actual gimbal with the Moment app. So Moment, maybe that's something y'all should look into, maybe adding that into your app so that you can like connect to some of these these gimbals. But yeah, that would be really cool if I could do that. But other than that, I mean, the gimbal still works really well, even without actually using these functions here. So, time to get some running footage. One of the major selling points in a gimbal is being able to hold it steady while you're doing fast movement. You want the gimbal to be able to keep your camera steady. So we're gonna run right now. Well, I'm gonna run. My girlfriend's filming, she don't wanna be on camera, but I'm gonna run and we're gonna shoot and see how steady the shots come out. So don't make fun of my running technique. I haven't ran in a long time. Okay. All right, and
flash.
that look stupid?
Yes.
One other thing I noticed is if you have a wide angle lens on your phone, you might pick up some of the rear piece of the gimbal, so that's something to keep in mind. Just take the phone and push it up a little bit. You have to remember you're not shooting with a DSLR, so the lens is not in the center of your phone. The lens is usually in the far left corner of your phone or in the top center of your phone. So the further away you can push the lens from this piece here, the better your chances of not getting any of that obstruction in your shot. So I'm just push it a little bit more just to be sure. Take this. But now, when I'm panning to the right, you're not getting any of the gimbal. You're just getting the shot. So now we're gonna do the same thing but walking to see how smooth I can keep the shots while handling the gimbal. So one of the things I like to do when I'm shooting and I'm walking is walk on my toes. So toe to heel instead of heel to toe, which I know it makes you look a little stupid when you're walking like that, but instead of heel to toe, do toe to heel. So walk on your tippy toes and then go down, and it'll give you like smoother movement when you're walking. Also, while you're walking, kind of slowly extend your arm, so it gives you more range of smooth movement. So, for example, if I'm just holding the gimbal like this and I'm just walking heel to toe, I'm human, and at some point, I'm probably gonna, things are gonna shake a little bit. But if while I'm walking heel toe, I'm also extending my arm, I'm giving a wider range of smooth motion. And that's something that's a lot easier to do when you're using it was a squirrel, it scared the shit out of me. That's something that's a lot easier to do when you're using a gimbal with your phone versus a gimbal with a DSLR or a bigger camera, is that you have a lot more range of motion with your arms. So don't be afraid of that. Like, use that. Understand that you're shooting with a phone and that you have a lot more capability with a phone. So don't be afraid to just have fun with it and do all kinds of like shots that you might not have been able to get with a DSLR or a bigger camera. So yeah, we could do more walking, some panning. Oh, got my girlfriend in the shot.
Nope.
She's covering her face with the camera. Hi.
No.
Okay. I think the Zhiyun Smooth 4 is a perfect gimbal for anyone trying to get smooth shots with their mobile device. I was using the iPhone XR today. but this thing can probably balance just about any new mobile phone on the market, and it's definitely worth the $99 I spent on it. So you should definitely go out and get you one. The Zhiyun Smooth 4, great bet, great value for money. Check it out. Like I said, the only thing that you should make sure that you pay attention to and definitely invest in is getting a counterweight for your gimbal if you're going to be using attachable lenses or ND filters to go on your phone. Make sure you get a counterweight, because this thing is not going to be able to handle the weight and work well. But yeah, Zhiyun Smooth 4, excellent.